A drenched matrix. What is Silurian for hello old chap? A lighthouse lock-in, and they don't like the hand of Omega up them. Welcome to another in our semi-regular series of Doctor Who cliffhangers and nail-biters show. Each show is different. Each show is curated for the tastes and experiences and memories of each guest panellist, and that's what I'm going to stick to, pretend. Everyone has a reason for reminiscing, experiencing, loving those cliffhanger moments. So today we have Sean. Good to see you, Sean.
Hi, Brandon.
So this is your choice of three favourites and a dud. So it's you we're all going to blame or cheer.
One final effort. Kill him! Destroy him! I, the Master, command you!
Where are you, Doctor? You might as well give up now. Your life for my master. Show yourself, Doctor. Get it over with.
No. You show yourself first.
Very well, Doctor.
Goth. All right, Goth. You win.
Now, Sean, you may find that I didn't show the final shot because on BBC iPlayer they've taken it off of the Great Cliffhanger. And you've chosen this as a Great Cliffhanger, so you and Mary Whitehouse don't get on, do you?
We don't. And the simple fact is that Mary Whitehouse claimed that would give kids nightmares. I never had any nightmares. I just basically enjoyed it. It was thrilling. And for once, you had the Doctor in real jeopardy because they were in the Matrix. Basically, it could happen. Whereas if you get the Doctor in other situations and it ends on him and you think, well, he's going to get out of it. But that one was so realistically done and so realistically staged. The fighting was so realistically staged that it basically just left it wide open. And yeah, sure enough, it was frightening. But I think Mary Whitehouse had a Bluebell Wood version of what kids could tolerate. And I think the Bluebell Wood aspect of it was absolutely ridiculous, really, because I think she was just basically impressing her own views on everybody else, weren't she?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because when I look at the Deadly Assassin and I look at people's choices, this cliffhanger, it's kind of it almost reminds me of Survival when it was the Master versus McCoy's Doctor, when it was like the end of them two, and we kind of knew the series was ending, and you thought, oh well, it's going to end with them both trapped in that kind of world, and their eyes are changing color to yellow, and they're gonna hit each other with rocks. It seems to be like the end of their existence, and to see Goth fighting him, and it was so gripping. And like you say, Sean, as a kid who's just been brought up on the latter John Pertwee years and the early Tom Baker ones, this was like our version of Caves of Androzani. It was pretty gritty. It was very gritty.
That's what I like about it. It is gritty. And the fighting is so natural, which you don't often get in Doctor Who. I mean, you know, I love the Pertwee era and that, but the fighting were very much staged, whereas this looked raw, it looked rough, it looked real. And the simple fact is that you just didn't know where it was going. You just didn't know where it was going.
I'm going to ask you the first question. I think episode 2 ends in the Matrix as well, with this where that railway You know, that trail.
Yeah.
And his foot was stuck in the track, and that weird face with that kind of gas mask thing.
Yeah.
And then you've picked the one which is the drowning with the in the version we saw as kids, there was a stop motion.
Freeze frame, yeah.
Yeah. So when you know, obviously you love your Deadly Assassin. What made you pick part 3 and not say part 2? Because they're both in the Matrix, and it's both the perils of Pauline, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. But that one just seems more real to me because he's actually holding his head underwater. And I don't know, the jeopardy just seemed like real. So real. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can have lasers, you can have all the usual sci-fi hocus pocus where, you know, or you've been scraped by the Janice Thorn, all that stuff which is sci-fi hocus pocus. But when you've got somebody punching each other like they're in the pub down the town,
it's real.
Yeah, it's like any
real.
Yeah, it's like any local MP. You know that one who got arrested.
We won't go there.
Yeah, it's the Deadly Assassin Part 3 is like any local MP decking his voters.
It just seems real to me, and it's one of those moments where you really appreciate what can be done.
I was intrigued because this is our very first time with the Matrix and seeing what it was. And I have to say, Sean, I don't know about you, but we've had the Matrix in the Trial of a Time Lord. We've had the Matrix and Arc of Infinity and all the rest of it. It was a great invention by Robert Holmes. I just wish in a way they hadn't done it, because after this one, it's never been as good.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit like the Davros situation with me. If they'd just kept Davros in that first story, that would have made it more legendary for me, but they kept bringing him back, didn't they? And it became, and the more he came back, the more the Daleks were diminished. I mean, you can argue with me all you want, but that is how I see it. And this is how, in a similar vein, this seemed real. And what you said about McCoy's era, etc. I don't know. I can't even compare that, because this to me is real, and that the other one is not. I can't put it in my plan.
I think you had some good stunt work here. I think the fact that you see your actor. I mean, Tom Baker's Fourth Doctor, like John Pertwee's and all that, whichever was your Doctor, they had their uniform, so to speak. But in this one, Tom Baker's not got his scarf, not got his hat, not got the full works. He's just in a shirt and trousers. You know, it's more simplified. And then on top of that, stunt work. And in a realistic situation, you see, the thing is, you can call it Gallifrey, you can call it the Matrix, you can call it Planet Zog. But to me, as a little kid, this just looked like two people fighting in water. And drowning is drowning, and fire is fire. You know, it was basic to me. It was basic, truthful, and proper perils.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I like it, because of that realism, and that is an important part to me. The realism of it, the believability of it, which is why, without wanting to segue too far, I like real reactions to real situations. That's important to me. And here, you've got it.
Well, what we should do this time, Sean, is I play it and you interrupt if there's some point you want to make about... Because we're looking at why is this a good cliffhanger. It could be the direction, it could be the acting, it could be the music. There's something that got you as a kid. And so I'll play it and just interrupt when there's something you want to ask Adam.
One final effort. Kill him!
I mean, I'm going to interrupt straight away, Sean. That master is the best. That if you want to scare the kids, Peter Pratt's Deadly Assassin Master is the best. I know everybody loves Roger Delgado, and quite rightly. I know then some people brought up in the Ainley era to like him, blah, blah, blah. But I think he was the one who scared the kids. They were crap in it.
Because there's nothing there, is there? There's no, all the charm's been burned away, all the sort of personality's been burned away. It's just pure evil. Because that's all that's left of him. You can't be charming with a face like that. No offense.
Yeah, you could try. But the thing is, I didn't know as a kid that this is very Phantom of the Opera. He's in the basement, isn't he? And he's got a hood on, and he's got a disfigured face, and he's angry. And of course, I'd seen the Master, like you, I'd seen the Master as a very little kid, and then he hadn't been around. And then for him to appear, and you're going, oh, that's the Master. I don't know. That got me. And once we knew it was the Master, I was bricking it.
It's Shock Cybermen, isn't it? You hadn't seen them for so long, then they appeared likewise. Yeah, I agree. And it was a strange story, though. I've got to say, it was a strange story, wasn't it, for its time? And I'm not sure I appreciated it at the time, but as the years have unfolded, you get that real appreciation of it because the story is quite deep. And, you know, the themes behind it are fire, really.
Oh, to be quite honest, I felt as I was being treated like a grown-up watching this, and I actually think it is very adult. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'll continue it on, and obviously, Sean, interrupt it just like I did.
Destroy him! I, the Master, command you!
Where are you, Doctor?
I mean, this is quite... I love all that sort of scene, the fog, the silhouette almost of the character. Yeah, I love it.
To be honest, listening to some of the kind of sound effects in the background, seeing the smoke effect, seeing the tropical plants, do you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, it ain't half hot, Mum. I was thinking a bit of It Ain't Half Hot, Mum, and a bit of Tenko later. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You might as well give up now.
Your life for my master!
Show yourself, Doctor. Get it.
Isn't this, though, Robert Holmes going boy's own adventure? Because to me, as a little lad, you had a man with a gun, a hunter, you had cyanide, you had pea shooters, you had fire, you had drownings, you had... to me, it was all the adventures that boys love in those comics.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. But also, the characters are... That's another big thing with me. I love character. That's why I'm not a big NUwho fan, because it's full of ciphers. But I love characters, and this character had been developed over the period of the story. We didn't know it were goth. We're a goth. Yeah, well, we'll say that. Initially, until he takes his mask off. And then, you know, that's another shock, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
He's quite high up in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And there he is working for the master, you know.
Yeah, it happens to us all. Here we go.
Over with.
No. You show yourself first.
Very well, Doctor.
There it is. Yeah.
It's almost panto in a good way. It's really kind of dun dun dun.
Well, yeah, I guess it is, but it works. And I like Tom Baker's portrayal. Tom Baker's portrayal during the Inchcliffe years, which you couldn't argue with it. It was just brilliant.
You've also got to remember, I'm sure you do, that he'd made an argument, Tom Baker, that I don't need an assistant. I don't need, you know, and this was his moment to shine. And boy, yeah, great script, great story, great performance. And based on this, you would be tempted. You would be tempted to say you don't need a Leela or a Sarah, because it really is gripping.
I wouldn't. I think this works in a solitary situation. I mean, Tom Baker, you know, he's a great guy, but he had some very, very strange ideas, didn't he, really? But I'd rather listen to Talking Pineapple, let's put it that way. But I think he needed a companion, really, but this does work. I agree. This does work. Yeah.
And they tried to do the shock reveal later with Ark of Infinity with Heading. Oh, it was Heading the traitor. You know, they've tried it a few times, but this was the big shock.
This is the original one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Goth. All right, Goth. You win.
I don't think I'd seen
drama. My God.
I don't think I'd seen anybody on fire in Doctor Who before.
No, exactly. That's what I meant. Absolutely. And great. Don't get me wrong. It's brilliant. I mean, this is what I'd like to see more often, because the realism just hits you in the face.
And when you know it's your program, you know, like if your mum and dad were letting you stay up to watch the Sweeney or whatever, then you know that it's going to be like, you know, something that they love.
Yeah.
But when it's Doctor Who, your program, and it's like this, you're going, wow, this is fab. So yeah.
Tom Baker's shirt there.
I was going to say the same thing, Sean, that how many times do you see the Doctor with a scar or with blood on him for this long? Now,
not often.
No, I can think of Peter Davison in Caves of Androzani because he had the Spectrox thing, but that's because he was regenerating. But in this, wow, God, it really is. He's up against it. And now this time I'll play it through to the resolution.
You can believe that flight happened, can't you? There's no fancy moves there. It's just slugging. Basically, just slugging.
Now, there is an argument, I'm just putting it out there, Sean, that some would argue the Doctor shouldn't be that all-action adventure hero. You know, they always say the Doctor doesn't use a weapon, and the Doctor doesn't hurt people, and the Doctor doesn't kill people. Well, I'm sorry.
My argument against that is, if the only way to survive is to do those things, then you're going to do them. It's just common sense, isn't it? It's all right saying, yeah, you're not going to pick a gun up and shoot somebody at random, but if you're faced with death or the death of somebody else, and the only way you can avert that is to pick that gun up and use it, then you're going to use it. I don't care about all these high morals and what have you. The Doctor's not a saint, and he shouldn't be. And I like that darker Doctor thing. The thing that I'm going to upset a lot of people here, but the way they tried to do it with McCoy, but I didn't think McCoy carried it. He didn't carry it for me. But I like the idea, but it just didn't come across. It wasn't strong enough to my mind. Now, if Tom Baker had done something like that, or Pat Troughton or William Martin, as we know he did, then it works so well. It really works well. Nobody's as pure as Driven Snow. I don't care whether you're human, whether you're alien. It's just nobody's as white as Driven Snow. Sorry, go on.
I'll sound as though I'm doing multicolored swap shop now, and I'm Noel Edmonds, and I'll say, right, all postcards and complaints to his address. But anyway, I have criticised Sylvester McCoy as well, but today I'll say it was all because of you. And here's the resolution then.
You failed me! Master, what are you doing? I must trap him in the Matrix. No, Master, I've no time to waste on you.
That, to me, add the fire and the drowning, and then straight after, poor Goth is burnt alive by the Master. I mean, this is. I let's be honest, Sean. This would not be allowed in NUwho.
Well, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Definitely not. But you know, it's realistic. It's so real, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's the beauty of that period, and unfortunately, a period that Mary Whitehouse sabotaged. That is one of the best periods in Doctor Who. It's got to be. It's got to be. It's one of the most adult periods, certainly. You didn't feel like you're watching a kids show, which to me, I did towards the end of McCoy's run. I mean, the stories themselves worked really well, but it was the acting, the fighting, the direction just didn't work for me. It was too unnatural.
And this being the famous controversial cliffhanger about the stop motion, of the drowning. I didn't, as you said, I didn't have nightmares over the week. I was dying to see what happened. So when you see the resolution, I don't recall at the time thinking, oh, that's a cop out. He just gets straight out the water again and has one more thump. But it made me, the other reason it's a good cliffhanger though, is it made me want to come back and find out what happened.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then, I suppose we better find out what your second choice is. And this time, the main picture there is a giveaway. Now, Silurians are 7 episodes, and we've had a Silurian cliffhanger already picked in this series. But Sean's gone for a different one, so let's see if he can argue this one. Here we go.
I intend to send for more men and mount a full-scale search of those caves.
Masters, the permanent undersecretary, is coming down here to conduct... Unless you can impress him more than you impress me, you may well find yourself transferred to some...
Dr. Lawrence, as I believe I have told you...
Stupid, bumbling idiots, the pair of them.
Now where are you going?
See Dr. Quinn. I must persuade him to trust me before it's too late. Dr. Quinn? Dr. Quinn? Quinn?
So, Cohen, then, does that take you back?
Yeah, it does. And what I like about it is I like stories to develop. And that story, the Silurians, really developed. That was at the end of episode 3, and that was the first time you'd actually seen a full-length Silurian. Absolutely brilliant. They'd sort of tease you with little bits and fingers and toes and one thing and another, but that was the first time you'd seen the actual Silurian. And not only that, it was the first time the Doctor had seen the Silurian as well. And I just love the fact that Quinn's there dead. You know, obviously he's pushed his luck a little bit too far, and there he is dead. I love that when the bell rings and you just see the sort of room in semi-darkness, and it looks daunting. And then, of course, the Doctor goes in, but I just love the way that Silurian casually walks out. And the thing is, and you don't know what's going to happen then. You don't know whether it's going to attack the Doctor. You don't know whether it's going to talk to the Doctor. But that's the first time you've actually seen one of these things. And it just casually walks into the room. And that stillness is well, I just love it, to be honest.
You've got the stillness. The thing that always... I used to say to the kids at school about this, I said, the thing that I think freaks a lot of people out is silence. And when somebody doesn't speak, but they're watching you, or somebody doesn't speak and you're in a pub, in a crowd, and you're all gabbing away, but one person's quiet, that scares me because I know they're thinking. It's just they're not telling you what they're thinking. And I always think, so you've got that stillness. I say silence. The Silurian doesn't going to go, die now, Doctor, because then you know what...
Exactly that. He just walks in. Casually walks in.
He could be the new lad who's doing the pools on a Thursday night. You know,
Could be the window cleaner.
I've come for my money. So let's have a look.
I intend to send for more men.
So, of course, I thought I'd use the clip with a good old bit of Brigadier in the early days. Now, with Unit, you've got Brigadier. You saw Nick Courtney in a few of the 60s ones. Then you see him in early season 7, season 8 Brigadier. And then you've got later Brigadier, as in up to Planet of the Spiders. Which version of the Brigadier do you like?
I like this one. I like this one because it's realistic, isn't it? You know, I mean, by the end, I don't mind the middle sort of version of it. Okay, it's dumbed down a little bit, but by the end of it, it's really a caricature, isn't it? I mean, it's like in Planet of the Spiders where I can't remember the guy's name, but he says I can't remember the situation or either, but this guy says mentioned something, and the Brigadier says, "Oh, I didn't know what that was until the Doctor explained it." Which, you know, is a guy in a very, very important position. You know, he'd know about telepathy, he'd know about things like that. I like this version because it's so hard-edged and real. Again, I'm going to use that word real because that is what I'm looking for. It's what I'm looking for. And there's also that scene into where he jumps onto the "where are you going" kind of thing. And the Brigadier just sort of grips him and then pushes him back. And it's just all real. It's just all real. I love it. This is what I watch for and why I don't watch now.
It does show you a hell of a change over time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was season 7 is very kind of, you know, there's a civil servant and there's a this and there's a that, but and the Doctor was so cranky with everybody, wasn't he?
You know, I never realised that at first. Pertwee were just this. When I was a kid, I just saw Pertwee as this perfect hero. But when you look back in retrospect, yeah, he were very cranky with people.
I did one recently on The Mind of Evil, and he tells Joe off really for saving him. It's like unbelievable. But yeah, this is, you know, I mean, as you say, I can see why you were gripped by this, because this is, you know, after 3 episodes, you do need to start seeing who these Silurians are.
And but all that tension that you built up over those 3 episodes, all lead to this moment, and it's just great. You've got all that drama going on before you actually see one of the damn things.
So what you like in a good cliffhanger as well is that the big reveal. And you mentioned Earthshock earlier. The big reveal, you know, that grips you. You go, oh my God, the Cybermen are back. Or what the hell is this?
Yeah, you're right. But this just shows that it doesn't have to be over the top, does it? It can just be as casual as something walking into a room, and there's your end of the episode.
Could have had Larry Grayson.
Well, it wouldn't have had the same effect.
Well, he used to skip in, didn't he? That was
that would have broken the sort of tension a little bit.
You don't want it. We're breaking the fourth wall and winking.
No, we do not. We've had enough of that, haven't we?
But I must admit, look at the lighting. Look at the whole thing. It's shadows. They don't mind silence. They don't want piles of dialogue. You know, David Tennant and all them. It's and you're going, oh, all right, pull back.
Yeah.
You know, the scene can breathe, and you can actually, you know, I think the beauty of it, and they're so patronizers all nowadays, is the viewer needs a bit of the quiet moments to do some of the working out.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I totally agree with you completely, because it seems like this that let the actual story unfold in a natural way. rather than everything running up and down here and running up and down there, and everything's got to be at 100 mile an hour. And like you say, there's no development in the story. There's no unfolding of the story, because if there's so much happening, you can't concentrate on one thing. And you don't need 100 things happening at once for it to be a brilliant story. I love the way this story unfolds over 7 episodes. I'm probably in the minority and I don't care. I'm old school.
Well, what we'll do is we'll play it again with the volume this time, and again interrupt if there's something we haven't mentioned yet that you want to add.
I intend to send for more men and mount a full-scale search of those caves.
Masters, the permanent undersecretary, is coming down here to conduct... Unless you can impress him more than you've impressed me, you may well find yourself transferred to some...
Dr. Lawrence, as I believe I have told you...
Stupid, bumbling idiots, the pair of them.
I mean, he was always kicking off, John Pertwee.
I know, especially, well, I say especially in season 7, but no, it was a trend that continued, yeah.
But as a kid, I always see the Third Doctor as my kind of third granddad. And so I could see him. Remember, we were in a slightly different era. Your granddads or great granddads could be a bit kind of Victorian, a little bit,
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, they'll discipline you. They might give you a clip. And, you know, the John Pertwee Doctor, you're thinking, you know, you've got to be ready. You watch for him. He might give you your pocket money, but he might also give you a clip.
Now where are you going?
See Dr. Quinn. I must persuade him to trust me before it's too late.
Oh, that is brilliant, isn't it? The mood there. I mean, a lot of people don't like this music, but I don't mind it.
No, I like this one. I think it's very interesting. It really, it just works. I'm not a musician, but it kind of works, this one, because it's a bit kooky.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Dr. Quinn? Dr. Quinn?
Because remember, as a kid, because it's not racing to the next scene and we're not going to do Spice Girls number or anything, you've just got that when, as a kid, you can imagine the tension when you were a kid and you're going, oh, and the heartbeat's going a bit more, you're in the shadows, what's happened to Dr. Quinn? Then you see that hand and then you're going, oh, they're going to get the Doctor. It's building up slowly. That's all you need. It's the imagination there.
That's what I like about it. That is exactly what I like about it. It gives it time, especially when you see those fingers like that, you know something's coming. But it's
Mr. Blobby. Mr. Blobby's coming.
Well, it could well be. But again, it wouldn't have had the same impact.
Although he did kill people, I tell you what. I mean, I don't know how you survived him in Noel's house party. But anyway, here we go.
And another thing as well, I love the way it doesn't just run in there at 100 miles an hour. It actually rings the doorbell. You know, it's hard enough to ring the doorbell, and then when there's no answer and the door's open, then he enters cautiously. He doesn't just run in there shouting his mouth off.
Yeah, saying, Dr. Quinn, I've been watching you from afar and I quite fancy you, and my knees are better.
The sheer casuality of that is brilliant. It's just the way it walks in, so casual.
Well, here we're going to see the resolution, and the casual might continue. Here we go. You could say this is a shock, because to me as a kid, you go, that's a monster.
Yeah.
But the Doctor is different with monsters, isn't he, in this era? Here we go.
Hello. Are you a Silurian? Do you understand me? Well, what do your people want? How many are there of you? No, wait! Wait! Wait!
Absolutely brilliant. I just love the way he extends his hand, But the Silurian looks at it as though, what's this? Because it's not familiar with genteel practices. They don't shake hands. They probably butt each other with them. Lots of theirs. But it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know what to do with that gesture. And it looks at it with curiosity. And that's brilliant.
And it is possible that because we've maybe mixed up our timeline slightly, that what you're seeing there seems like a long time ago, but actually the Silurians and Sea Devils have come across the 15th Doctor era. So, for example, with the spin-off that we're all not looking forward to, when you can have a love affair with a Sea Devil. So maybe the Silurians wary of that hand going, what, do you want sex? I mean, you just don't know. I mean...
Well, the thing is, back in these days, things like that didn't really enter into it, did they?
No, we believe it or not, everybody, we weren't thinking when we watched Doctor Who of romance, love, and sex. We weren't.
Correct.
We just wanted lots of death. I wanted lots of death, Sean.
Yeah.
Girls, lads, whatever you're into can wait. I want death. Well, we're on the dud, and the dud is always interesting. You've got, is it Death to the Daleks Part 3 when John Pertwee was into interior design critique, or is it good old Dragonfire Part 1? Who knew? But no. Now, you've heard a hint from Sean. He doesn't like his McCoy years. So, like I said, postcards to his house. And yes, he's gone for a double whammy on the McCoy era. Remembrance of the Daleks, even for people who don't like the McCoy era, people go, oh, what a great story. He's gone for Part 3. I mean, whoa. So he's taken all of fandom on here. So we want answers, Sean. Why do you think this is a bad one? I'll show it first.
Daleks, move it!
Well, Doctor, I trust your little jaunt was successful.
I'm afraid we've brought back some Daleks with us.
Get it, they've got the hand of Omega. Why don't they just leave? Ace told me.
You lying dirty scumbag.
They can wait.
The dirty stinking brass is selling us out to the Daleks!
What are you talking about?
I didn't know it was the Daleks, sir.
Imperial Dalek shuttlecraft entering atmosphere. Defend the hand of Omega. Wait, all units. Withdraw immediately. Return to base.
They're retreating, all of them.
That'll be the Imperial Dalek shuttlecraft.
What? They're not landing a spaceship here.
Here? No.
You're sure?
Ace, get into the window!
I think I might have miscalculated.
Actually, that's not a bad one. I got it wrong. It's not that one that I'd thought of. This is my completely.
This is right. Oh, hold on, everybody. This is on record.
I'm not backtracking here.
This is quick.
I want to discuss when all the Daleks were coming in.
Yes.
And she was there for about 5 minutes while they were just stood there saying exterminate, exterminate. They could have, if they're supposed to be these supreme breed, they'd have just wiped her out. There'd have been no discussion. Bang.
I thought that's the one you meant when you said Remembrance of the Daleks Part 3, because I actually thought that was Part 3, but it's actually this one, which shocks me. I know, but now you have to own it, mate. No. But no, I do understand Remembrance of the Daleks Part 2 when they were just going on and on and on, and I just thought you're milking this. By the way, Part 1 of Remembrance of the Daleks, the Dalek who goes up the stairs is saying exterminate, 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 and you're going, well, this is the problem with the Daleks. It might be dramatic, but just do it.
Yeah.
You can't be the master of the universe and spend 20 minutes saying what you're going to do.
Correct. Absolutely. And the thing is, as they're closed in, she's actually fitting the thing into the weapon. And they're just watching her fit this into the weapon. And they're just chanting.
I'm going to blame sometimes the whole direction process, because we've done already in this series Mysterious Planet, where they were all going to stone him, and the way it is done and all the rest of it, it just looks cheap and theatrical. You know, there are so many Doctor Who cliffhangers that fall into this category of the Remembrance of the Daleks Part 2, when she's surrounded by Daleks for ages and she's messing on but not doing much. It reminds me of a lot of Colin Baker ones, actually, where, I mean, I've just done one with another panellist where basically, that's a Twin Dilemma, where basically he's about to be shot in Twin Dilemma in the TARDIS, and he just goes, and you think, no, do something, because that means you're going to die.
Yeah.
I've just done Mask and Mandragora, where he's about to be beheaded, and Tom Baker Doctor just kind of goes, okay then, and I'm going, well, you're not going to fight, so you tune in to see, well, what went wrong then, because the Doctor hasn't got any clever way out of it. So when you see Ace on the floor, and you know she's surrounded by Daleks, and they come slowly at her. We're going to get you, we're going to get you, we're going to get you. And she's going, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. My hearing aid's not working. Are you going to do what? And you know, right? And when they explain it all into all the different languages available, because it's all inclusive and diverse nowadays, isn't it? So it's broadcast properly. And once the person you're going to kill, Ace, understands, then you're allowed to kill her. No, it just goes on forever. And I just think that's the problem with so many Doctor Who cliffhangers, you know.
Yeah.
They were a good idea, but in the room when they were rehearsing it, they had to think, well, how do we do this shot without making it look as though it's lasting forever when it wouldn't?
No, it wouldn't. It'd be a 2-second shot, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, they just come in, bang, she's dead.
What?
If you can't do that, then don't create that situation.
Exactly.
Now situation. Sorry.
I'll throw an example in, Sean, that I think proves our point. If I said to you, Terror of the Zygons Part 1. So Sarah's at the hospital to see Harry, and as she turns, the nurse has turned into a Zygon, and there's a scream, but it's a quick shot. She turns and screams and gone, and then you're in this credits. And that was a split second, and it was the split second where you went, whoa! Yeah. Instead, Ace was going, hold on, I need to write my autobiography first. Hold on.
It's a comic book. It's just comic book, isn't it? Pure and it's not a dull. I mean, compare that, right, to the one we've just watched from Deadly Assassin. The universes apart. That's comic book, and that's real. And that's the difference.
Well, we've just allowed him to shift sands, but what I'm going to do, Sean, is I'm going to now show this one from Remembrance of the Daleks, because I know you're saying this wasn't bad. I have issues, though. I might as well...
Big
Here we go.
Daleks, move it!
Look, number one, these Daleks were drunk. They were always wobbling too much. Yeah? Number two, you've just heard it, and I'm going to play it again.
Daleks, move it!
Look, Genesis of the Daleks, the music was brilliant. You know, even NUwho, it goes all kind of demonic and choirs and everything. This sounds as though I'm getting attacked by somebody on the xylophone or something. What is it?
That was accurate as well.
Yeah. No, actually, the truth is it sounds as though I'm being chased by orchestral maneuvers in the dark or something. You know. So there's that bit.
Well, Doctor, I trust.
Great effects.
Really good.
I do struggle with the performance.
Little Jaunt was successful.
I'm afraid we've got...
That's my point.
Then the scene I cut out just to make sure it could all fit in was that Ace and that fella were hitting it off a bit.
Yeah.
And he was gonna take her to the pictures, and then he betrays her by talking about the Hand of Omega. So then you get this dialogue and this acting.
Daleks with us.
Get it, they've got the Hand of Omega. Why don't they just leave? Ace told me.
You lying dirty scumbag.
They can wait.
The dirty stinking brass is selling us out to the Daleks!
Sometimes I thought I was watching Why Don't You meets Doctor Who.
I agree. This is why I'm not a big fan of the McCoy era. Some of this story works perfectly in prose. It really does work well, and it's well written, and you can see everything that's happening. It's brilliant. But the execution of it on TV, I mean, I love Sophie Aldred. I think she's a really nice person, but the way they wrote her, you couldn't believe in her. You compare her reactions to somebody like Barbara, and Barbara's reactions are so on point. Or Sarah Jane, for instance, or even Jo. But
I think it must be hard, and I always give this to Sophie Aldred. She was asked to play this teenager, but then you're trapped. You know, you're an older actor, and you're playing this bloody teenager all the time. Yes, Liz Sladen got to play a woman who's a journalist. Leela was a savage, brilliant. Barbara was a teacher. They're established. To play a teenager forever. I mean, look at Adric. I mean, it was the end of him. So there's this already. You know, I'm scoring. I can see why it works as a story, but I don't like these cliffhangers.
I didn't know it was a Dalek, sir.
Point that were a brilliant explosion. That the way he was thrown over, but when you look at the other one, they're firing shot after shot after shot. Now these are supposed to be computerized targeting systems, and yet every shot's missing. So what's going on?
Well, I think I know, because I always have this problem with my streaming. You didn't reboot. The Daleks should have rebooted their computer before they went into battle.
What are you saying? It's hit and miss.
Yeah, I know. This is the problem with, even when Doctor Who thought, oh, we can do lasers. Oh, we can do like Star Wars. But Star Wars, by the way, Sean, when you watch Star Wars, the stormtroopers were firing so many lasers. I know there's a bit of sci-fi where we just like a little bit of bling, don't we?
Well, I don't know if I do, because I like it. It's like James Bond when he's running across a gantry and there's 1,000 bullets going at him and not one of them hits, and it just destroys credibility for me. I can't take it seriously after that. Once credibility's gone, everything's gone. So
Imperial Dalek shuttlecraft entering atmosphere. Defend the hand of Omega. Wait, all units. Withdraw immediately. Red Dot, don't base.
Now, if everybody's wondering, how is Brendan really going to criticise this? I mean, I did actually think it was... Sean did say part 3, so I thought it was this one, right? Now, actually, the way it's executed, okay, but I'm going to come with my big problem.
They're retreating, all of them.
That'll be the Imperial Dalek shuttlecraft.
What? They're not landing a spaceship here.
Here? No.
You're sure?
Ace, get into the window!
Miscalculated.
That's really interesting, that, because that is going to come into play in my next clip. It's going to overlap, and you'll see the difference.
Yes, and the Doctor is fallible. We need the Doctor not to be perfect. Yeah, and the Doctor shouldn't be Space Jesus. But I don't like this bit, and the reason is the Doctor wanted to go back and move the hand of Omega and trap the Daleks. So basically, the Doctor, whose job is not to meddle, actually made sure a whole Dalek fleet is coming to Earth and risking people's lives. This is a bit like... I know later on we had the Curse of Fenric and he plays the game of chess with... Yeah, I know, but the Doctor never... Look, if I could just make... Because everyone's going to knock me now. If everybody can remember, during the Matt Smith era, the Matt Smith and David Tennant Doctors said... Can I just tell all you aliens, Earth is protected by me. Back off. And he warned everybody that this is a protected Earth. The Sylvester McCoy Doctor is kind of saying, can all Dalek fleets come here? Because I've got a little neat trick I want to do. That doesn't work for me.
No, it comes down to the question of, basically, this is a Carmel master plan where the Doctor's a darker character. Now, I think, in my opinion, Davis took that theme and ran with it. And this is where it all starts, where the Doctor's more than just a traveller in time and space, which, as in Pyramids of Mars, he admitted it, that's what he was, and that is what he was. Now, Carmel looks at the actual premise of the script, of the story, and says, oh, I don't like this, he's just being knocked about from one place to another. That's the whole premise of the damn thing. That is what it's about. I know things have to change over time, but not to the extent where you've absolutely scrubbed the original premise and now you start to call it something else. Call NUwho something else, because it's not the same.
So I wasn't happy about the Doctor is imperfect and makes mistakes, yes, but I don't like the Doctor dicing with the future of the whole of the Earth with the Daleks.
It's sort of juggling all the sort of aspects of everything, fiddling here, fiddling there. No, that's not what it should be doing.
I allow the Doctor to make mistakes if one or two people die, you know, that happens. But this is a threat to the whole of the human race because the Daleks are the most vicious.
Well,
he was there in Genesis with the two wires going, should I do this? Meanwhile, now he's going, can they all come here, please? Nah.
The thing is, he's gambling that it's going to be all right. And if it isn't, then, you know.
Yeah, we're kaput. And this is how it works out. Here we go. It's resolution time.
Advance! We must capture the hand of Omega from Rennie.
Right, out of here! Everybody downstairs. Is that the mothership?
No, that's the shuttle. The mothership. Are you willing to cooperate with me now?
No, because you've ballsed it up, mate. I mean, I didn't get that dialogue at all. By the way, I do overall like Remembrance of the Daleks before people start making voodoo dolls of me. But can I just please say, the Doctor has just said at the end of episode 3, oh, I think well, in our language, I think I've cocked up. Yeah. And then at the start of part 4, he goes, are you going to listen to me now? I'm sorry, if I were the military lead, I'd say no, because you've already ballsed up.
You've already admitted that you made a mistake, so why should we listen to you? But I must admit, that's not a bad. I love that shot of the actual ship coming down. Yeah. I love the explosion where the soldier's thrown over but everybody shoots at point blank range and doesn't hit anything. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
But there are some good aspects to it. Before Brendan blames me for all the misdemeanors in this, there are some good aspects to it.
At the end, you will see Sean's address, and I will make sure everybody's got it. So yes, that's the Remembrance of the Daleks part 3, but he really meant part 2, but actually it's part 3, so he has to own it now. So we're going to end, which I think it's my, out of your choice of 4, this is my personal favourite of the 4. It may be yours. Let's see it then, and let's see if everybody agrees.
This creature can climb sheer walls.
Not only can it climb sheer walls, it's amphibious. It has some affinity with electricity and a technological ability to adapt its environment. Are you following me?
No.
It likes the cold. But heat might be a method of defense.
He said the boiler pressure has fallen and the siren will not sound.
Oh, no! Get her out of here!
Like the others?
Yes. Rigor mortis. He's been dead for hours.
But that is not possible. He was in his room.
Not Reuben.
But he was. I saw him.
The chameleon factor. Sometimes called lycanthropy. Leela, I've made a terrible mistake. I thought I'd lock the enemy out. Instead, I've locked it in. With us.
Oh.
Absolutely brilliant. The conviction with which he actually says that, and you can see it in his eyes, that he's realised, oh my God, I have screwed up badly here. That is just so, it's chalk and cheese to that other one, I'm afraid. And a lot of it comes down to the acting, but this story is so fantastic. All the characters in it are brilliant. They all play their part perfectly. And Leela, again, chalk and cheese to Ace, because you can actually believe that she could do the things she does, because she's not a human. Or she's a descendant of the humans, all right, fair enough. But Adelaide, her reaction so stereotypical but so true, because stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason, because things like that do happen, and I just love that, the conviction in Becca's face, his voice, and Leela sort of puppy dog looking at him. Well, what's the matter? Like, what's the matter? I just love it. You can't beat.
I have to say, there's something about it. It's you're just down to performance and dialogue.
Yeah, you are.
And to be quite honest, this is like an urban legend. If I remind everybody, having taught for 30 years and you've been a parent, Sean, you know what scares kids when they start telling each other stories. And I remember being in Ibiza when we were about 7, and our mum and dad were in the bar, and we were outside with the older kids. Big risk. So while mum and dad are enjoying themselves, we're getting told all these urban legends. And we were told, the classic about the babysitter and the phone kept ringing and I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you. And eventually, as you know, everybody, they traced the call and the call was coming from upstairs. The person is already in the house and the shivers go up your spine. And all that happens here is the 4th Doctor, it's the same trick. Uh-oh, I've locked the monster in.
But also, again, there's a stillness to this that just makes it so believable. And you can feel the threat hanging in the air without actually anybody being in immediate danger. They're all in danger, but they're not in immediate danger, and yet there's not a great deal happening. Not everybody's in immediate danger, but everybody's in potential danger, and that's the strength of it to me. And it's delivered in such a serious way that it's terrifying.
I think one of the things that, look, there's a lot of reasons horror Fang Rock works, but one of them I think we have to say is Philip Hinchcliffe and Robert Holmes talked, and they're planned, and they're plotted. And on top of that, this story, you'd have to have no brain cells to know this is a ghost story.
Yeah.
This is a ghost story centered on a lighthouse. And so nobody in the production, from the actors to the caretaker to anybody, would not know how you show this, how you play this, how you make it look. It's a ghost story with Doctor Who in it. And so everybody just plays to that. The trouble with, I think, some of the others we saw, like Remembrance of the Daleks Part 3, like I said, some of the execution's great. Is it supposed to be dark? Is it supposed to be action-adventure? Is it supposed to be sci-fi? I think sometimes they get lost in just showing you something that's on the script and not going, hold on, what is this we're making? Whereas this, there is no doubt at all. And so really it ramps up easily, doesn't it?
It will.
So, Because as a director, I'm not a director, but I know this is a ghost story. So Reuben needs to be played by a certain type. The lighthouse keeper. You know the types you want. And you want that voice, a bit like the one in Dad's Arm uses. We're doomed. We're doomed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You, you need a nice tight cast who are all going to die in different ways, and you just so happen to have a fourth Doctor who could do voiceovers for tea time.
Exactly. And I mean, when you look at those characters, they're all so tight. They're all so believable. I don't know. This is a perfect story for me. This is a perfect story. I just love the way they're all stereotypes. This is what I like about it. They're all stereotypes, but they're all stereotypes for the reason that that's how people were back then.
Yeah.
You've got your rich, buff, who considers everybody below him. You've got the guy with skin sail who's a tough, but he has consideration for people. And then you've got Adelaide, who's Adelaide. And the way Leela reacts to her as well during this whole story is just absolutely brilliant stuff. It's so believable. It's comical almost, but in a serious way. And I like a little bit they put in this as well. Like there's one scene that I hadn't noticed for quite a number of years, where Leela's actually eating in the background.
Yeah.
And Reuben says, we won't have any of that, none of your foreign language here. When the Doctor said incontrovertible, and Leela just smiles because she finds it funny. And it's so natural.
Yep. Well, let's play it one more time because it is the dialogue. Simple bits of music, great set, tight cast. Everybody knows what they're doing, and Tom Baker's in a bad mood. It's brilliant.
You can climb sheer walls.
Oh. Not only can it climb sheer walls, it's amphibious. It has some affinity with electricity and a technological ability to adapt its environment. Are you following me?
Do you know, I had to edit a bit of it. He has a long list of what the enemy's doing, and it's plotting. And as a little kid, you're listening to this going, somewhere in the water out there, it's working us out. That's like a peeping Tom in the bushes. That's like going, oh my God, somebody's stalking the lighthouse. It really works on the imagination. That
it does, absolutely. Yeah. And the other bit as well is later on where the Doctor says, oh, he's outside, his body's outside. And so Skin Cell says, well, we better go and get him. And the Doctor says, do you really want to do that? And then they think, what's out there? There we actually go out. And that is such an impactful moment as well. And I don't explain that very well, but you get what I'm saying.
And all you need is that lovely sound effect of the Rutan and a bit of green light, and I was made up.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely. Likes the cold. But heat might be a method of defense.
He said the boiler pressure has fallen and the siren will not sound.
Get her out of here!
Like the others?
Yes. Rigor mortis. He's been dead for hours.
But that is not possible. He was in his room.
Not Reuben.
But he was. I saw him.
The chameleon factor. Sometimes called lycanthropy. Leela, I've made a terrible mistake. I thought I'd lock the enemy out. Instead, I've locked it in. With us.
I mean, so that... Oh, he makes it look as though it's over. Game over.
Yeah. And the juxtaposition of how Adelaide reacts, and then Leela just says, like the others, so casual about it. And I know there's that difference, but it works. And I love Adelaide's reaction because it's so true of the time. Again, as I say, that's what I like, believability. And if I lose believability, I've lost the plot, literally. Yeah. And I never did in the story, never once. It's an absolutely brilliant story.
Well, this was the Cliffhanger show for Sean. These were the Sean selection. Sean, have you enjoyed going down that memory lane?
I have, yeah, definitely. And seeing all those aspects again, the aspects that really, what sorry, I'm mixing my words here, exemplify what Doctor Who should be. What it should be, not what it is now, not what it became, what it was. And to me, that's just every one of them, even the one that I got wrong and told you the wrong episode. I love how he that were quite happy in a way, because you got to see McCoy's reaction and Baker's reaction to a similar situation. And I'm sorry, but one outstrips the other by 900 yards. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, Brendan, really.
Well, that's good. And we'll have you on again, of course. And glad you could make this. And thanks for your selection. And hope everybody at home enjoyed it. Remember, you write into me, to Gmail, or on Twitter. You might end up sitting where Sean is, not necessarily in his lounge, but basically with your selection, and we'll go through those clips. So thanks again, Sean.
You're welcome. It's a real pleasure.